Chapter 1. The Secret Before. "Finish him!" screamed Monopoly. "No," murmured Tabby as she drew her claws. Monopoly raised his umbrella and hit the feline with the full force of his lightning. The cat desperately tried to push through, but Randy could tell almost immediately she was struggling. "Just think, Tabby," hissed Monopoly. "All of this pain doesn't have to be. You can kill Randy and get your bread. The bread you need." Tabby looked back and forth between Randy and Monopoly, clearly unable to decide which side to take. Tick-tock, Tabby. You don't have many seconds left," hissed Monopoly. He turned to the doctor and Randy and said, "You will suffer. You will all suffer this fate." Just then, Tabby yowled and leapt through the lightning and grabbed the recipe with her claws. In one flying leap, she flew through the air and landed in the fire. The recipe burned up instantly, turning into black ash and floating away out of sight. "No!" screamed Monopoly, who charged Tabby's burning body, but at that moment, Hero soared down from above and said, "I don't think so." He slammed his fists into Monopoly and the vile man was catapulted backwards. "I see you have recovered, Hero," snarled Monopoly. His eyes began to glow bright purple as he rose into the air and prepared to blast them all with lightning. Hero would not move. Monopoly raised his umbrella and thousands of lightning bolts came raining down upon Hero. But Hero unzipped his jacket and revealed he was wearing a metallic coating. "What the?" began Monopoly, but it was too late. His lightning rebounded back at him and slammed him backwards, catapulting him up into the air and out of sight. Randy turned just in time to see Tabby turn to ash and float out of the fire. "No!" cried Randy as he reached out to grab a piece of Tabby. Monopoly could make out Hero flying up, attempting to reach for a piece of the feline's remnants, giving him a sense of sick, twisted amusement. He continued to soar through the air, beyond the planet's atmosphere and out into space. And there he remained, motionless as the cold, unforgiving domain enveloped him. He drifted there for a long time, long enough for Hero to wipe everyone's memories, and for the spacecraft to rocket away. The pirate captain and her crew had abandoned his body, no doubt after their next big break, and Mr. H was long gone. It was the quietest funeral ever as the former Mr. Cons drifted past planets and stars, sailing beyond every charted planet and beyond the Milky Way. He traveled peacefully in a wretched way. Many spaceships passed by, and a couple even stopped to watch the floating body that had come from the neighboring galaxy. After many years of drifting, the body attracted a little interest. Various alien scientists would drop by occasionally to check up on Mr. Cons' flight, to run chemical tests. But beyond that, he was alone. After many more years of drifting through the vacuum of space, his body bumped into something. Many scientists and their research vessels were gathered around his body, watching with anticipation as they saw the body approach the one place in the universe no one ever dared to go. The Great Nebula, a treacherous wall of space dust and gas where many went in and nobody came out. Luckily for Mr. Cons, he had bumped into one of the many safety nets surrounding it, but this safety would be short-lived. The alien scientists had agreed, for scientific purposes, to allow Mr. Cons' body to drift through the nebula. Various alien equipment was strapped to his body, and when the all-clear was given, the safety net was lowered, and Mr. Cons floated through into the nebula and out of sight. The scientists eagerly initiated their tracking devices and diagnostic tools to see what they could find in the nebula. A loud echoed throughout the nebula, and the aliens desperately tried to figure out where the sound was coming from. Unfortunately for them, their equipment could not see through the space debris. They were losing signal as the interference of the nebula took over their instruments, sending feedback controversial to their understanding of the universe. The roar echoed throughout the nebula again, and to their surprise, through the static on their screens, a strange figure in a cloak had appeared in the nebula. As the scientists leaned in to see what was happening, something large and heavy slammed into the spacecraft, and they all jumped. Then another impact shook their vessel, then another and another repeatedly. They bailed in their panic to the escape pods to evade the danger approaching. However, as quickly as it had come, the barrage stopped. The scientists stared out their escape pod windows and gazed in awe as lightning flashed and thunder rolled throughout the nebula as the silhouette of a man with piercing purple eyes and an umbrella held high flashed through the breeze. Monopoly had returned.